Hey y'all, JM Keem here, and today I'm going to give you guys my 2-week review on the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N 6-speed manual transmission. Initially, obviously, I like the way the car looks. The car looks great. It's a really good looking car. Hyundai and Kia, they've been stepping up their game recently in the past couple of years. The EV6 looks beautiful. The Hyundai Elantra N looks beautiful. Like they've been coming out with a whole bunch of new lines of cars that just look really good. If I was gonna go the EV route, honestly, I'd get the EV6. I've driven it before a couple times. It's great. Like, I love the EV6. It's just beautiful. It's comfortable. It looks good. It's fast. It's just a great car. It has a lot of space. It's a great car, but I'm not ready to go the EV route yet. So that's why I got this one, the Hyundai Elantra N. So initially, first thoughts, it's a good looking car. Of course, I watched a couple of videos as well before I bought it, and that's probably one of the reasons why you guys are watching this video. But yeah, good looking car. Overall, first impressions was good. Now I'm going to talk about daily driving. So it's been 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks. I haven't driven the car every day, I don't think, but I've driven it over 14 days. I've probably at least driven it 10 days, and multiple times in different days. So I'm coming from a Mitsubishi Eclipse 2003 GT manual Eclipse 5-speed. So I'm coming from the Japanese world, and I'm coming from a two-door coupe sports car, early 2000s sports car. With that being said, it's been a good drive so far, because that's a sports car, so it's not really a comfort car. This is also technically a sports car. It's like kind of in the middle. I think the term for it is a hot sedan. The ride comfort is definitely a lot better than the 2003 Eclipse. Eclipse is really low. It's a two-door early 2000s sports car, so it's a pretty low car. This car is also relatively low. Coming from the Eclipse, it's definitely a huge difference. Going into the Eclipse, I had to go, like, I'm 6 feet, I'm 6'1". So going into the Eclipse, I had to go really low to get into the car. And usually when I'm driving, my knees are like up pretty high near the steering wheel. And this car it's low, but it's not too low. It's pretty easy to get in. It's pretty comfortable, to be fair. It's a pretty comfortable drive. The suspension is really good, honestly. So I drive this car mainly in New Jersey and New York. I've also driven it in Connecticut, since that's where I got it from. In New York, there's a bunch of potholes. The roads are bad. Even in New Jersey, there's a couple bad roads. So, but like going over those bumps, it's not that bad. Definitely not that bad compared to the Eclipse. The Eclipse, I'd be rocking around whenever I go through a bump. This car absorbs those bumps pretty good, honestly. For a sports car, even in N mode, it absorbs those bumps really good. But I will say, while driving in New York on my second day of ownership, I ran over a pothole, probably going probably like 30 miles per hour, and my right passenger tire was cooked. I went over that pothole, and then I just immediately, lights started blinking, saying my tire pressure was going down. It was bad. And that was my second day of ownership. But I guess that's what comes with the low profile tires. If you go over a pothole too hard, it might just cook your tire if you're low profile. So definitely be ready to spend some money on tires if you're gonna continue rocking low profiles. Yeah, ride comfort is good, suspension is good over bumps and potholes, and steering as well. Suspension is really good. It just feels comfortable. It's not like a Benz. Like going from a Benz to this car, like a Benz is a luxury car, so it's built for comfort. This car is built for the track, but nevertheless, it still gives great suspension and great comfortability whenever you're driving. Cabin noise as well. I've seen some videos of people complaining about the cabin noise. I don't think the cabin noise is that bad in my personal experience. And also, it has a great sound system, so if you're worried about cabin noise, you can just turn on some music, and then you're not even gonna worry about it. I also love driving, so I don't mind cabin noise. So my tolerance towards it isn't very low. It's actually pretty high. I love driving. So the cabin noise it's not anything to what I saw in those videos saying that it was really bad. I don't think the cabin noise is that bad, honestly. Another thing I want to talk about as well is the cabin space. The cabin space in this car is really good. And again, I'm coming from a early 2000 sports hatch. Not a coupe, it's a hatch. It's a hatchback. I'm coming from that, and you know, I can only fit 2 people in the car. I fit 5 people in the car before, in that car, but it was mainly like it was my siblings and like my parents. I fit them in the car before, surprisingly. But the cabin space in this car is actually super good. In the front, the space is great. In the back as well. In the back, I fit my 6'3" cousin, 200 plus pounds in the back comfortably. People that are in the back, I always ask them like, hey, how's the cabin space? And they're like, they're hella comfortable in the back. I can have my driver's seat all the way back, passenger seat all the way back, and they still have a good amount of space in the back. So that's really good. And I actually like driving my friends around. I like driving people around. So to have good cabin space in the back, that's really good, because then I can fit as much people as I want. That's also a really big highlight that I wanted to highlight. The cabin space is actually really good in the front and in the back. I've had no complaints so far from my passengers. The seats in the front as well, you know, we got the bucket seats. In my early 2000s, my Clips, it did not have any bucket seats. It had leather seats though, and the seats were pretty comfortable in the Clips, except the driver's seat was a little ripped, so that was a little annoying sometimes. But these leather Alcantara, whatever it's called, bucket seats, they're really good. I'm not gonna lie. I've had no issues. This is my first time like driving with bucket seats. Like, it's been good. It's really comfortable. It's actually more comfortable than I expected. I have no problems here with the bucket seats. They're good. They're heated as well. And this is my first time having heated seats and heated bucket seats as well at that. That's pretty impressive. But the heated seats, they've been game changer, man. I've been using that a lot when it's cold outside. It just feels great. And you know, it's heated passenger seats and driver seats in the front, not the back, only the front. My passengers have loved it. I love it. It's pretty good. Now let's talk about performance. Obviously, this is a track car, so you should expect some good performance in the car. I think it's advertised as 273 horsepower. Driving it, well, I've seen some people put on the dyno. It definitely has a lot, like it has more. It has probably around like 300 and change stock. And you know, my car is stock right now. I'll be building it with you guys on the channel. As for now, it's stock. Everything is stock, and you know, the performance is great. Corners, going around corners, man, this car eats up those corners like it's nothing. It's actually crazy. And I mean, again, I'm coming from I've driven a Mitsubishi Lancer GTS 2011. I've driven a 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse GT. I've driven a 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse GST. I've driven also, like, you know, Audis and some BMWs, some Benzes here and there. This car, like, you could tell that it's built for the track. Especially when you're in N mode, like, you could take corners at virtually, it feels like, any speed that you want. And when you're in N mode as well, it just feels weird to drive the car slow in N mode. When you're in N mode, you just have to go fast. Like, it just feels so weird driving slow in N mode. It's like the car is asking you to go faster. Like, it's begging and pleading for you to go faster when you're in N mode. So performance is pretty good. Throttle response is pretty good. And you know, it's a turbo car. So you know how turbo cars are with throttle response. But with this car, it's been pretty good. And also boost reliability. Through the charts, I've been getting boost as reliable as I need it, and you know, that's big. And it is a newer car, so I guess we should expect that. But I also just wanted to point that out. The brakes are also great, very responsive, very sharp, very strong. You know, with some big red. I'm not sure if it's Brembo. I don't think it's Brembo brakes. I'm not sure what type of brakes there are on the car, but they have the N logo on there. It's really good. The braking system is very good. It's outstanding, definitely. The differences in the different driving modes. So we have eco mode, we have normal mode, then sport mode, and then we also have N mode, N custom 1, and custom 2. I haven't set up my N custom modes yet, so I can't wait to try that and turn traction off and see how that goes. But you know, the differences in modes is so I drive around either in mostly eco, normal, or N mode. I will point out, so I drive in normal mode a lot because you can use rev matching in normal mode, but you can't use it in eco. That's the only mode that you can't use rev matching in. Rev matching is disabled in eco for the manual transmission. So that's why I use a lot of normal. Whenever I just don't feel like rev matching, I just use normal mode. But I mean, you could definitely tell the difference in eco and normal with like things like throttle response. It's a little bit slower in eco, which makes sense because eco is trying to save as much gas as possible. So the car is just a little bit slower in eco. In normal mode, it still moves. It's still pretty good. It still moves in eco mode. I thought in eco they would probably, like, I wouldn't be using the turbo at all. That's how the car would be set up. But I was driving around today in eco and I could hear the turbo going. So that was pretty cool. That was interesting. Normal mode, you could tell like the difference because of the throttle response in normal mode, and then sport mode and N mode, of course. But yeah, I try to drive around in eco to get decent gas mileage. I find myself in N mode a lot, wasting a lot of gas. It's very unfortunate, but it's very fun. Yeah, so right now with my driving, I've been doing a lot of highway driving as well. So I've been getting around like, right now it's probably around like 27 miles per gallon. So that's pretty decent. And that leads me as well to the next category, which is fuel economy. As I said just now, I drive in N mode a good amount of times, more than I need to, honestly. So that definitely adds some trips to the gas station while you drive around in N mode a lot, because N mode takes up a lot of gas. Of course, you know, you have your pops and burbles in the back in the N mode, and you know that eats up gas. It takes for your car to hit them pops and burbles, it needs to use gas. So you know, in N mode, you're gonna be going to the gas station a good amount of times. I think in N mode, I'd probably get like 13 miles per gallon max, just to note that. In eco, so right now, yeah, as I said, I've been doing a lot of highway driving, and it's been mainly eco. Well, it's been between eco, normal, and N, and right now it's 27. But I think if I drive it like a regular person in eco, I'll probably get like 30. On my way back from Connecticut with the car, I was getting like 30 to 35 miles per gallon, and I was switching between eco and N mode. But I didn't do N mode a lot on the way back. It was mainly eco and normal. So I was getting around like 35 miles per gallon. So it really depends on how you drive the car. If you drive the car really balanced, then you know you'll get good mileage. You get good gas mileage. You probably can average like 25 to 30 if you drive it relatively decent. But if you're going hard every day on the car, you'll probably get like 10 to 14 miles per gallon. If you're in N mode strictly, yeah, probably like 10 to 14. But if you're in like eco, then you could probably get like 30, 35. I saw a video on that as well. Someone did a real life gas mileage test on the car. That was pretty interesting to see. I'll link that in the description below if you guys want to go ahead and watch that. But so far, gas mileage has been pretty decent. It's not anything bad to where I'd have to say like, hey, like, don't get this car because the gas mileage is bad. It's been pretty decent. So now we'll talk about the technology. I haven't activated all of the Hyundai and Blue Link and all those apps yet. So I don't really have a huge opinion when it comes to technology on this car, which is bad because I love technology. I've mainly been using just Apple CarPlay, and the Apple CarPlay is wired. There's no wireless Apple CarPlay. You'd have to get a wireless dongle yourself and do that. Go through all of that. I might actually do that. I might get the wireless dongle and transform the CarPlay into wireless. But right now, I've just been using the wire. I have it right here. So far, so good. I just got to throw on Apple CarPlay and I'm good. The sound system is good, so when I'm listening to my music, you know, that's really good. So I have a better understanding of that once I activate all those Hyundai Blue Link stuff. I still got to read the manual. I still haven't read the manual, the user's manual. But you know, we have some ambient lighting in the front. So maybe that's a part of technology that's really good as well. It's a nice little vibe. And also, when you in the nighttime, you can see the car seat, the N logo light up. You can see it lights up in the daytime as well. It lights up when your car is unlocked and your door is open or something like that, but you can really see it in the night. Technology, I'll give it a plus. It's so good so far, but don't really take my word for that because I haven't used it a lot. Maybe I'll do a 1 month review, and then by the time in 1 month, I'll definitely have all those Hyundai apps and technology stuff activated. I don't really use the maps that comes on the car because I use Apple CarPlay. Also, the car has a turbo timer, which I find really cool. So when you're like beating it on the highway and you come home, you don't gotta wait on the car to cool down. You could just get out the car, turn it off, and it will activate the turbo timer automatically. automatically, and the turbo timer cools down your turbo, cools down your engine, because technically, especially after like a long drive, you're supposed to let your car cool down before you turn it off. So that's really cool. It does it automatically for you, so that saves you some time. You can just get out the car and go do what you gotta do. One thing I will note though, one kind of negative, which is I've been in a Reddit, and I've been in a bunch of communities, and I found that this is actually just a regular problem. There's like a little software issue, and with Hyundai's Elantra N's, at least 23 and below. I'm not sure if it's in the 24 and 25s, but I've been getting a check safety system warning. It just pops up for a second and then goes away, and that happens like every couple days. But I found out that's a regular thing, so you don't have to be worried about that. But that's a little glitch that I wanted to mention that happens in the system. I've also, as I said, I've been in the Reddit. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups. I'm in the Elantra N subreddit. Also have an Instagram at JDMKeem. You guys can go follow. I post a bunch of venues on there. I'm in a bunch of groups, in a bunch of N groups, local and international. So far the community has been really welcoming and really inviting, so that's really cool. This is my first time in the KDM space. I've been mainly in the JDM space, and so far the KDM family has been welcoming me. So if you guys want to get the car to get into the community, it's definitely a good foot forward into the community. The guys are really cool. I could always, I reached out, I bugged a whole bunch of people about different questions I had about the car, and they were really cool. They're really polite, and they were happy to answer my questions. So the community is really good as well with the car, and that's a big thing, because there's some toxic communities. I haven't really been in any toxic communities, but I know there's definitely some toxic communities in the car community, but this is definitely not one of them. So that's really good. Final thoughts: after 2 weeks, I definitely recommend this car. I can't wait till the years that I'll spend enjoying this car. It's such a fun car to drive. It's a fun car to look at. It's a fun car to film. It's a fun car to make content for. So if you're in the market for a 2023 Elantra N, I definitely recommend it. I think you should go get that. There's some people that prefer, the 2023s and before, the pre-facelift version. The 2024 and 2025 have a facelift. There's some people that prefer the pre-facelift, and some people that prefer the facelift. Honestly, coming into getting this car, and I saw the facelift version, I think both cars look good. The facelift version looks good, and the pre-facelift version looks good. So I don't have any bias towards the version, but I do think this car, the 2023, the pre-facelift, is pretty pretty. It's really pretty. Facelift is also good as well. Can't go wrong with it. It looks a little bit more aggressive, but I feel like the facelift version kind of takes away the uniqueness of the car a little bit. And the pre-facelift version kind of gives like a different feel. I feel like the pre-facelift version might give KDM a little bit more than the facelift version, but that's just me. Nevertheless, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been my 2-week review of my 2023 Hyundai Elantra N. If you guys like the video, make sure to go smash that like button and subscribe, because I have a whole bunch of content coming on the car. Definitely go follow the Instagram at JDMKeem. We got some bangers over there, and you can reach out to me. I'll help you get in the community, and we can talk. Hope you guys liked the video. And that's all for today.